buttons, 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 buttons. Well, that's exactly what the Logitech G604 does. With 15 different buttons on this bad boy, we're going to take a look to see if it's really worth it or if you should stick to a mouse with a lot less buttons. So now upon opening up the box, you do get the mouse itself, you get an included AA battery, you get a nano receiver, as well as an extension cable just in case you want to plug it and have the receiver be a bit closer to you. All just pretty much basic stuff. So now moving on to the design of the mouse, which in this case is pretty much one of the main features. The entire build quality is all made out of plastic, but it's more of a matte kind of nice premium plastic, I'd say. It doesn't feel like dollar store material. It definitely has a bit of premiumness to it. Now as well, on the top, you do have your scroll wheel. It can go left and right, so that's another button, 2 buttons right there. As well, you do have your button to switch into lightspeed mode, as well as just a scroll wheel adjuster if you want to have it in super speed or just with a couple of clicks here and there. Now on the bottom of the mouse, you do have the sensor, the on-off switch, and a lot of different pads, which in my opinion, I'd say is a bit excessive for this type of mouse, but I was a big fan of the fact that they're all shaped in arrows and look pretty cool. Now as well, one other thing about this mouse is that the back you can take off, and that's where you find the AA battery as well as the nano receiver. And I like this part about it a lot because it's somewhat magnetic, so it's not too hard to take out, nor is it too easy. Now going to the main feature of this mouse, which is all of the buttons, as you can see, there are a lot of them. You do have 6 on the side, 2 on the top to adjust your DPI. You've got a couple more as well on the scroll wheel and on the mouse itself. So overall, the 15 buttons here definitely are not lacking. As well, you are able to program these buttons to do pretty much whatever you want using the G-Hub software. Now, one thing about the design as well that you can see is that there's unfortunately no RGBs. Personally, I'm totally okay with that. I'm for that, if anything. I'm not a big fan of RGBs, but if you're someone who, just has an RGB theme across their entire setup, then you might want to look at a different option. Now we've talked about the buttons, let's do a quick sound test of them just to give you guys a better idea. So here's the scroll wheel. You got the 2 buttons at the top. The right click and left click. The DPI adjustment. As well as all of the different programmable macros. This thing claims to last up to 240 hours of usage, which is pretty understandable, and I do believe it because of course there's no RGBs, there's no excessive things that would be draining the battery aside from you using it. As well, when you are using it, it does have power save mode, so if you just leave it for a bit, it automatically turns off, and once you move it again, it turns on. Another thing as well this mouse has is Logitech Lightspeed, which makes it so that it's a 1 millisecond response time. Of course, that's pretty good considering it's a wireless mouse. Big fan myself, and for me, when I did some light gaming, and again, I reiterate this every time, by no means am I an extreme gamer, but when I do some light gaming, it was very responsive and I was a big fan of it. Personally, I mainly used it when it came to spreadsheets, some light video editing here and there, but mainly when it came to spreadsheets. And for me, I was a big fan of being able to customize these macros to do different tasks whenever I needed them. It saved me a lot of time because once I programmed it once, boom, done, over. I would not have to do that again, and it was literally as easy as a click of a button. Of course, it doesn't take too long, but it does save time in the end. Being someone who has used the G602, this one was a big step up and it just felt more comfortable in my hand. I was a big fan of the ergonomics. I always have loved this little tiny wedge right here where you can have your thumb rest on, and just the shape of it is a lot more sleek and classy compared to the G602. Now overall, when it came to the G602, would I sell it or would I keep it? Myself personally, and again, this is just my opinion, I would keep this mouse because for myself personally, I did see an increase in productivity because after 3 weeks of using this mouse when it came to Excel sheets and light video editing, it made it a lot faster and a lot easier because I didn't have to go through and repeat tasks that used to take a while. It was just as simple as a click of a button. So if you're someone who sits behind their computer and does tasks such as video editing, Google spreadsheets, photo editing, then the G604 should definitely be an option you look for. Even if it comes to gaming and you want to program it to do different things in gaming, just having the ability to do that is very nice. Again, this is more of a review from kind of the more productivity side rather than the gaming side, but for me, I loved it. With that being said, if you stuck around to the end of the video, a like and subscribe is greatly appreciated. It genuinely means the world to us and it helps our channel grow day by day. This has been Tech Barn, and as always, stay premium.